your data suggest a strong implicit preference for black people compared to white people. MTV are going to be airing a new series called White People, and attached to that series is a website called lookdifferent.org/white people. On the website, there is a test you can take to check your bias. It's a sort of little game where it asks you to put black people or bad words into one side and white people and good words onto one side, and then later flips it to see which one you do faster. Now, as it turns out, I discriminate strongly against white people. I've come to accept that I am racist against whites, and I want to fix that. Luckily, MTV has provided me with a racial bias cleansing program. It says, interested in working on your own biases? With input from the Kirwan Institute for the Study of Race and Ethnicity, we've created a 7-day racial bias cleanse that will provide you with daily tasks that will help you begin to de-bias yourself. It sounds a little bit creepy, but I've decided to take my first step in cleansing myself of my bias against white people. I've only done day 1 so far, as I've only just found this, and the first task is to watch a video and count how many times players in white pass a basketball. But I had my mind blown. It was never about the basketball. There was a gorilla, and I didn't even see it. Thank you, MTV. Through the power of metaphor, you have taught me that racism is when people don't notice the gorillas. I guess they send people biased against black people a different video so as not to make a kind of fucked up comparison. Elsewhere on the site, they subject you to this. I really have no idea what a duck with glasses and a comb over is meant to do for race. I learned that the Irish, Italians and Jews have been infected with whiteness. They are now white. So when someone says, "Get out of my store, you dirty wop," that is anti-white racism, except as we have learned from Tumblr, you cannot actually be racist towards white people, and therefore, as these people have become white, slurs against them are no longer racist. Additionally, as MTV says here, they are not discriminated against at all anymore. Not because discriminatory behavior has stopped, but because they're white now, so it is not discrimination. I dream of the day that black people may finally have whiteness bestowed upon them. Or we could just treat people as people, but that's ridiculous. And don't you Jews or Italians dare deny being just white. That is super racism. Anyway, I recommend having a poke around this website. For now though, we are going to have a look at the trailer for this show or series that's coming soon.
If you say the wrong thing, then suddenly you are a racist.
What an idiot. Everybody knows racism has nothing to do with what you say. You're simply born into it. You shouldn't be nervous to say things in case you're branded a racist, because that was already decided the moment they saw your skin tone.
Feels like I'm being discriminated against.
Equality is like Pokemon. It's pretty fun. You have to learn how the different privilege types interact, which is weak against which. This person obviously has overestimated her ability to be a victim from her womanhood. When you try to face race with femininity and you are white, you become white, your femininity is cancelled out. I imagine that during the course of this, she will be taught how to spend more time on Tumblr training to become an ally. Being an ally is sort of like being a Pokemon trainer. It allows you to, when faced with someone who gets more victim points, send out a friend who beats them instead.
You kind of get this feeling that things belong to you.
If that's an illustration of white privilege, a whole hell of a lot of people who are not white have it. There is another clip on the MTV YouTube channel, and it sort of illustrates how Native Americans had white privilege before white people came to America.
As the people who are, who are originally in this land. And then these invaders come in and they take.
How can you believe that something has been taken from you unless, to begin with, you have
this feeling that things belong to you?
So I've been taught that whiteness is a social construct that relates to what is seen as normal. Like the host says, the Native Americans were the people of that land. They were the dominant population. They also seem to have had white privilege, this feeling that things belonged to them. Thank you, MTV. You have improved my understanding. I now realize that Native Americans were originally white, but are not white anymore.
He who takes the best meat, which is what they call white people. You can see why they called them that, and still call them that. Now, mind you, for some people, that might be, oh my God, that's a racialized thing against white people. The construction of racism has benefited white people, not people of color. Certainly not Native Americans.
But it does benefit the Irish, Italians, and Jews. And hey, who knows? According to the website accompanying this, like I was alluding to, Native Americans might be white tomorrow. I can understand why individually some of these points may convince people, but altogether it just makes a big clusterfuck. Where also is a big red light is how much they rely on emotion.
So what do you think about when you think whites?
They're mean to us so much.
I know this is just the trailer for it, but it seems to me like the people who try to fight these lines being drawn are the only people enforcing them being drawn. They've picked this clip of a frail little child with whimsical music in the background, saying, "They're mean to us so much." Sure, some people may have been mean to this person, but the whole us and them thing is always us and them. There is no "I am doing us and them" from the right side. And the people who do care are not going to be the individuals who are doing anything bad to you in the first place. The people who are genuinely racist and would discriminate and hate are going to continue doing that. The people who care and will try to fix things for you will just turn into weirdo ass kissers. There are people getting totally wrecked and destroyed on the basis of who they are. No one I'm seeing here really is in that situation. They're showing me people with nice clothes, got nice headphones in a nice classroom, but this is still obviously an MTV thing. It exists to be dramatic. They are not going to go look at the people in the US whose lives are wrecked, who do actually need direct help. Instead, this is looking like it will be extremely dumb, brainless entertainment with some pretty mental ideas piggybacking in on it. I would much rather treat people as people, rather than treating them as something that you can put them in a box for. It's very useful to do that. You can leverage the rest of the people in that little box with what they've done or what they've said or what people have done in the past or said in the past. And if you're clever, you can make sure that it counts as far back as you want so that any group can be seen as being bad against your group. No one's ancestry is clean. We are never going to get rid of the people who try to pull this shit without actually being in a bad position, like some people are. So I have an idea. We, the adults who can get along with people regardless of what they look like or where they come from, should work together to deliberately create a huge societal divide. Forget any divides there may be between genders, races, sexualities, anything like that. Whether they're there or not, and whether they're significant or not, we are going to create a split so wide that those won't even be noticeable. We should all cooperate, accepting everyone's different views, in order to crack society down the middle by a line of people who actually do things and those who cry. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.